Hello, my name is Smith, and I'm here to tell you about the Sigma Series SW40 VE, which is made by Smith & Wesson in Springfield, Massachusetts, USA. And before I get to the weapon, let me go ahead and make sure that the weapon is safe and there is no round in the chamber. All right. Now, this weapon, has basic functions. You got the trigger. All right. You got the slide lock. All right. And you got the takedown mechanism. Of course, you got the pistol grip, and the weapon has an internal firing pin, which is the same design as a Glock. It's more of a Smith & Wesson version of the Glock. The gun itself is very cheap, and I would suggest that a lot of young guys out there that are very novice about the weapon, you start off with this kind of weapon. If you don't want to start off with a 22 LR type of weapon, and you want to start off with a higher caliber, of course you have the 9mm SWVE, and you have the 40, which is this one. All right, and basic features, you have the front sights and the rear sights, and the safety of this weapon is located on the trigger. Same thing with the Glock, but it's a little bit more different because you have to really pull the trigger in order for you to to release a lock, which is located underneath the trigger. All right. Let me go ahead and take this weapon down and show you a little bit more about it, so that way you would understand the basic features. All right. There's a lot of ways that you can disassemble this weapon, and easiest way that I can usually do it is you take your right hand, all right, you place it, right there, and your fingers over here at the slide. And all you gotta do is pull it half cocked, and this is the takedown mechanism, and release it. Usually what I do, I like to pull the trigger, because knowing the fact that I know that the weapon's already been cleared, and it allows you to release the slide. All right. As such, you have the buffer and the buffer spring, which is already intact. Unlike the SIG series, you can actually take off the spring and the buffer, take it off apart, and you have the barrel. All right, it's pretty simple. It's a 40 caliber barrel. But one thing with this weapon, I have not reviewed as far as the interchangeable, barrel kit or whatnot. And I've heard about the myth, but I'm not quite sure about it. And I know that the SIGs has it, but I'm not sure about the Smith & Wessons. And if you ever own a Glock, doesn't matter what kind of Glock or whatnot, it's the same, basic features. It's the same way as far as taking down a weapon. The only difference is the plastic, because the Glock actually had a different type of plastic that they use on the pistol grips, unlike the Smith & Wesson. The accuracy of this weapon, I would say that the only downfall of the weapon, as a matter of fact, is the trigger, because you would probably use about 12.5 pounds of pressure in order for you to pull the trigger. It's a double action weapon. It has a tight group, but it takes a while to get used as far as shooting the weapon in order for you to get your groups. It's a pretty cheap weapon. It costs you about $400 or $500, if not even cheaper. And if you were to start off with a high caliber pistol and don't want to spend as much as more than about $500, you can start off with the Smith & Wesson Sigma Series SW40VE. Alright, let's go ahead and put the weapon together. It's pretty basic. Start off with the slide, and this is the barrel. Let's put it right in, and we'll just sit in place, and you have the buffer and the buffer spring. You make sure that that's the tip right there. You can't miss it because it's only two-sided. All right, and there's a hole right there that'll actually sit in place. All right, and it sits right there as such. Make sure everything's aligned. All right, and once you hear that click, that's it. Weapon is ready to rock and roll. All right, enjoy. Okay, man.